Good morning. This Sunday, July 26, 2020, Holy Cross is having parking lot courtyard worship, and I will produce my sermon then. I think a sermon is meant to be shared. And so what I'm recording for you all who might not be able to make church with us is my practice of my sermon. And I'm Pastor Patricia Hughes. Here we go. This summer, in this time of unprecedented change in our world, our lives, I'm so pleased to be able to offer to you, each of you, personally, the opportunity to worship together, to sit in a family of God and can connect to that sharing. We are indeed family. And I never feel that sense of family so much as when we receive a new member. It's the closest thing to a birth that we experience in worship. And this Sunday we'll welcome Deanna Tipton-Noon for sharing this day with us. And so as we share this space, the readings for this summer focus on Genesis, the ancient stories of family, of betrayal, of God leading and encouraging, the stories of that first family in the founding of Israel. They're filled with the majesty of God as well as the infighting and pettiness and cheating and scheming, so vividly portrayed in this first family of the Old Testament. Father Abraham had one son, Isaac, and Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob, who don't get along. And Jacob is a cheater and a schemer, and you can read all about it in Genesis. But today we hear the account of Jacob back in Haran, which would have been the home place for Abraham a long time ago. He's with his uncle Laban. He was sent there to find a wife and partly to get him away from his brother Esau, who wanted to kill him, literally. And so Jacob starts over with his uncle Laban, tending his flocks, and he loves one of Laban's daughters, but apparently not the other one. And Jacob, that cheater, that trickster, is cheated himself. Laban makes a bargain with him for 7 years of work, and then he can have what he wants, a marriage to Rachel. But, and here's the twist in the plot, he gives him Leah as wife. Yes, it sounds odd, but between the veils that the wife wore and the wine the wedding party served, Jacob is completely tricked. Cutting to the chase, Laban makes another bargain and gives Jacob his daughter Rachel as well. Yes, polygamy was a thing then, for just 7 more years of work. So we search for a moral in a story like that. Is it one trickster deserves another? Is the moral, aren't we glad women aren't treated as chattel anymore? Is the moral, I don't know. What is the point of a family story like this? But stay with me now. Remember, you and I are in a time of upheaval, of uncertainty, and we are comforted by seeing the faces of each other and by the breath of new life as we breathe a new member's reception in our church body. And then we hear a family story from Genesis that is filled with hard things, hard moments in families, in life, filled with relationships of all kinds. We always have choices. Choices like Laban's, to be treacherous and unkind, are always one way to go. The gospel reading for today is another. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. I have one more story for you. This one, a colleague told me. Let's call my colleague Jim. And when Jim was a little boy, his father, who was a woodworker, tried to teach him how to repair the leg of a table that had split and was no good. Had to be completely replaced. So his dad helped him choose a nice piece of wood And the two of them used the lathe and the sander and worked for a long time, fashioning a lovely leg that would match the others. And just as Jim, the little boy, was finishing it up, he got excited and pushed too hard and shattered the leg that he was making. Stunned, the tears began to fall for him, and he looked up at his father remorsefully, expecting the worst for his carelessness. But the father smiled a bit and then said, "Oh well, there's more wood. Go get another piece and we'll start again." I forgot to tell you, Jim is a pastor. And when he told this story in a sermon illustration, he had several people come up to him afterwards, vividly recounting to him a story similar to Jim's, something that they'd experienced as a child, and the yelling and the punishment that had been meted out to them by their parents. And it was then that Jim realized that his story was not complete. And from then on, whenever Jim told this story, finishing with the part where he broke the leg and his own worry and fear, and his father saying, "Oh well, there's more wood. Go get some and we'll start again," that there was one more thing to say. And it's this: each of you has the opportunity to make a memory the next time someone you know makes a mistake or a bad choice or even screws up. You can say, "Oh well, there's more wood," or whatever it is. Let's start again. Because God's love is like that, not scheming like Laban or Jacob, but like the gospel. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. May you experience God's treasure this week and always, my friends. Amen.